Hello Bama fans. Feinbaum names who doesn't want to work at Bama. Is this a disaster or just weird? Before the news, keep subscribing to the channel for more Alabama news. Paul Feinbaum's talk about Ryan Grubb and his resistance to joining the Alabama Crimson Tide brings a curious and unexpected tone to the behind the scenes of college football. On a program like the Paul Feinbaum Show, statements loaded with analysis and controversy are common, but this one in particular raises intriguing questions about the dynamics within the team and the view that renowned coaches have of the Tuscaloosa program. In context, it's hard to ignore the impact of Grubb's absence on Alabama's offense this season. Under Kalen DeBoer, the Crimson Tide have had bright moments, including memorable wins over teams like Georgia, Missouri, and LSU. But their inconsistency has been evident in surprising losses, like the stumble at Oklahoma. The promise of an elite offense has yet to be fully realized, with the team ranking just 42nd in total yards per game. The difference from DeBoer's offensive performance in Washington, when Grubb was his right-hand man, is stark. That naturally fuels speculation that a reunion between the two could reignite the creative spark that made the Huskies' offense one of the most feared in the country. The turnaround in Ryan Grubb's case is almost theatrical. He turned down Alabama not once, but twice, first under the Saban era and more recently when DeBoer took the reins. Feinbaum's reasoning that Grubb's wife was unhappy with Tuscaloosa sounds almost surreal in a sport where decisions are often driven by ambition and opportunity. But the reality is that Grubb's choices add a layer of uncertainty to the story. Even after his departure from the Seahawks, where he had a mediocre NFL season, Feinbaum questions whether he has any genuine desire to join Alabama. But the story is not yet written. Feinbaum, while skeptical, acknowledges that failure in the NFL does not define a coach's potential in the college environment. He points to Steve Sarkisian, who was fired by the Falcons and quickly found success under Nick Saban. If there's a lesson here, it's that Alabama has a history of turning comebacks into redemption stories. Grubb could still decide that now is the time to finally head to Tuscaloosa, especially if he believes his vision aligned with DeBoer's can revitalize the Crimson Tide's offense. Current coordinator Nick Sheridan has DeBoer's backing, but it's hard to ignore the fact that the pressure to perform consistently is ever present at a program like Alabama. If Grubb truly doesn't want to be in Tuscaloosa, as Feinbaum suggests, the bigger question is, why? Is it purely a personal decision, or is there something more to it? For Alabama fans and analysts, this is a question that rings with strangeness, given that the program offers a unique platform for success and relevance in college football. Still, as Feinbaum himself admits, the tides can change quickly in this sport. Grubb may very well reconsider his stance, and if he does, it will be fascinating to see how his arrival could impact the Crimson Tide's future. Let us know what you think at the end of the video. And there's a Bama player who's successful and admired in the NFL. Jameson Williams' success in the NFL is one of those stories that Alabama Crimson Tide fans love to follow. The wide receiver, now a key player for the Detroit Lions, has not only put up impressive numbers on the field, but he's also earned the admiration of his coach, Dan Campbell, for something even more valuable, his growth as a person and a teammate. A talent honed in Tuscaloosa, Williams always had the potential to excel. At Alabama, he showed signs of what he could do at the next level, with his explosive speed and game-changing ability. Now, with 58 receptions for 1,001 yards and 7 touchdowns this season, he's finally showing everything the Lions envisioned when they took a chance on him in the draft. But as Campbell pointed out, what's most impressive is Williams' evolution outside of the stats. It's a narrative that resonates deeply with the Alabama culture. Saban has always emphasized the process, not just in football but in developing character and discipline. It seems that same ethos has helped Williams overcome difficult times and become more than just a great player, a respected leader in the locker room. The Lions coach was forthright in his praise for Williams' journey. He acknowledged the challenges the player has faced, many of which, Campbell himself says, he has caused. But therein lies the value of transformation. Williams' ability to reflect, learn and grow, even in the face of adversity, reflects a maturity that not everyone achieves so early in their career. Williams' impact on the Lions goes beyond the game-winning plays. When Campbell refers to the moment Williams dropped the armor and began to genuinely connect with his teammates, he highlights a shift that is crucial in the competitive environment of the NFL. Players who not only deliver results but also strengthen team chemistry are invaluable assets. For Alabama fans, watching players like Williams thrive in the NFL is a source of pride. He's not just a reflection of the talent the Crimson Tide develops, but also of how the mindset instilled in Tuscaloosa prepares players for challenges on and off the field. Just as he did at Alabama, where expectations are always high, Williams has found his footing in Detroit, handling pressure, mistakes, and personal growth to become a key part of the Lions' playoff run. Dan Campbell has made it clear that he loves Williams, and it's not hard to see why. For Crimson Tide fans, it's yet another example that Alabama's legacy in the NFL goes far beyond individual accomplishments. It's about developing men who contribute to their teams in profound and lasting ways. Williams is living proof that the process works in Tuscaloosa, in Detroit, and wherever football takes him. Good luck to the Bama guy in Detroit. Justin Okoronkwo's departure from the Alabama Crimson Tide to join the South Carolina Gamecocks is one of those stories that reminds us of the fierce competition that defines college football, especially at elite programs like Tuscaloosa. Okoronkwo, a promising linebacker from Germany, showed flashes of impressive talent, but even with a standout performance in the spring game leading all defenders with 11 tackles, he couldn't find a place to play on a depth chart loaded with talented veterans. In an interview with the state newspaper, Okoronkwo was candid about his decision. His words, "I felt like the starting spots were gone. It's tough to compete, especially at a place like Bama, with guys who are more experienced than you," illustrate the cutthroat reality of competing in one of the nation's top programs. Alabama is arguably one of the NFL's top talent factories, but that excellence also creates an internal competition that can limit playing time for even highly promising players. With Deontay Lawson and Jihad Campbell returning, along with Justin Jefferson, Okoronkwo's path to a prominent role has become even more complicated. The young German, despite being praised by the coaching staff, realized that his best opportunity to grow as a player would be in an environment where he could assume a more significant role right away. Choosing South Carolina, a team on the rise in the SEC, seemed like a strategic move to secure more playing time and visibility. Okoronkwo's departure is part of a larger trend we've seen at Alabama recently, with 11 defensive backs entering the transfer portal. That can be interpreted in a number of ways. On one hand, it's a reflection of the talent level within the program, which often creates a bottleneck of stars. On the other, it's a reminder of the challenges the modern era of the transfer portal presents to traditional teams. Players who might have once been able to wait patiently for their turn now have the option to pursue other opportunities, and programs like Alabama are adapting to this new dynamic. For the Crimson Tide, the loss of Okoronkwo is unfortunate but not unexpected. The coaching staff, led by Kalen DeBoer, must balance the pursuit of young talent with the retention of seasoned veterans who choose to delay their move to the NFL. For Okoronkwo, the move represents another opportunity to prove himself at South Carolina, a program that will certainly benefit from his presence. Ultimately, Okoronkwo's departure is not a blow to Alabama's reputation. Rather, it is a reminder that the program continues to attract and develop top-notch talent. At the same time, it is a testament to how college football has evolved, giving athletes more control over their careers. It will be interesting to see how Okoronkwo fares in Columbia and whether he can prove that the decision to seek new surroundings was the right one in his college football career. Good luck to the guy in Bama in the meantime. Speaking of Amari Niblack, the former Alabama tight end, now seeking a new home after a lackluster stint at Texas, is yet another example of an athlete trying to find the ideal environment to maximize his potential. But could Bama be better? At Alabama, Niblack showed flashes of promise. With 21 receptions for 342 yards and 5 touchdowns in 2 seasons, he showed he could be a valuable piece of the offense, especially in his sophomore season. However, The intense competition for positions in Tuscaloosa, something almost inevitable at an elite program like the Crimson Tide, seemed to limit his development. The move to Texas at the end of the 2023 season seemed like a logical decision at the time. The Longhorns offered Niblack a chance for a fresh start, but the numbers show that the experiment was far from a success. With just 5 catches for 33 yards in 9 games, Niblack struggled to make an impact in Austin, which is likely what prompted his decision to re-enter the transfer portal. Now, the big question is, would Alabama consider bringing Niblack back? It wouldn't be the first time a player has made the move back to a program he left, especially in the current portal era where circumstances can change quickly. Head coach Kalen DeBoer and his coaching staff would have to assess whether there is room and need for Niblack to return, given the tight end group's recent performance and strategic vision for next season. For Niblack, the next pick will be crucial. He's entering his final year of eligibility and will need to find a program that will not only utilize him effectively on the field, but also help him develop his skill set to potentially catch the attention of NFL scouts. There's raw talent in Niblack, but consistency and fitting into the right system will be key to turning the talent into production. Regardless of Niblack's fate, his story underscores the challenges faced by many players in the modern era of college football. The pressure to find the right place, maximize playing time, and balance personal and collective expectations is immense. But it's also a testament to resilience, the willingness to keep fighting to achieve your goals, even when the path isn't linear. For Crimson Tide fans, their story is a reminder that football is as much about adaptation and perseverance as it is about talent and execution. And who knows? Maybe a return to Tuscaloosa is on the horizon, but it's hard to know, especially in the nil era. What do you think? Leave a comment.